This is Dr. Mirza Wasim Hussain, and today we are going to learn about the constructors. Here are the table of contents for today's presentation. Starting from constructors, their special characteristics, and how we declare and define constructors and type of constructors. Now we really need to understand what the constructors are, what makes them different from other member functions. We can say here is a definition, a simple definition. A constructor is simply a member function that's used to initialize the object of a class. Or we can say it is a special method that can be invoked automatically whenever we create any object. What makes now the question comes, what makes it different from the other member functions? The constructor has some special characteristics that makes it different from a normal member function, or we can say these are the properties of a constructor. Starting from itself, a constructor has the same name as the class itself, means class name and constructor name should be same. For example, if we define or declare the class name student, then the name of constructor should be also student. Another property, that constructor does not have any return type. For example, if we'll see main has a return type, or any other member function has a return type. For example, in C++ we have one of the common used function is main has either it has an integer return type or void return type, but constructor does not have any return type. And another property, the constructor is called automatically whenever the object is created. Another, moving further, if the user does not specify any constructor, C++ generates a default constructor. That is, we will learn in the future what that is called default constructor. We will learn in the future what really default constructor means and types of constructors. Another special characteristic of constructor is that they should be declared in the public section. By default, if you will see, the class has its access specifier that is private, but the constructor should be declared in the public section of code. This is one of the common errors that students face. What they do, they don't specify the constructor in the public section. Now the question comes, how we can declare and declare our definition of the constructors. There are two methods that how we can declare and define the constructors. Either we can declare it within the class or outside the class. We can declare and define method 1. We can declare and define constructor within the class. Method 2, declaring the constructor within the class but define the constructor outside the class. Let's make it clear by the example. For example, the method 1, here syntax, here we have a class that is a keyword class, and here we are defining or declaring the class that's name, class name. It can be anything. It can be student, student1, employee, and here we are specifying the access specifier, that's the access specifier public, and here we are declaring constructor, that's name, class name, with name, class name. That's a declaration of a constructor. Here we can write definition of a constructor within the class. Let's make it clear by the example. Here we are declaring a class named by student, access specifier public, and here we are declaring a constructor named student. Look, name of class and constructor is same, that is declaring of constructor. Here we are declaring the constructor and definition of constructor within the class. That is, for example, I am declaring a constructor with the name student. The student name and class name coincides, class name and constructor name coincides, that is student. Here the output is hello, this is my first program on constructors. Here finishing the constructor and finishing with class main. Here we are creating an object of type student, object of type student. This is a default constructor that is called automatically when the object is created. Here it's a code, although the modern definition don't use .h, but here we are using hash include iostream.h, including the header files, include hash include conio.h. Here the class named with student, specifying the access specifiers, that is public, student. Here we're declaring and giving the definition of constructor, that is hello, this is my first program on constructors. Here object is being created and default constructor is called automatically. Here it's the output, hello, this is my first program on constructors. Let's look at the second example. Here we have a second example, the class with student 1. Here we are specifying the access specifier, that is public, and we are declaring the two variables x and y. Here we are declaring the constructor and definition of a constructor, but within the class, not outside the class. That is student 1. We are initializing x to 101 and y to 125. Here we are creating an object of type student 1, obj, and here we are displaying the value of x and y respectively. It's an exercise to find the output of the example 2. Thank you.